Hello everyone. Today let us know about the coding of the project online hostel. So you can see the header which includes the logo as well as the menu. So let us see the header.php file first. Let us open this using Notepad++. You can also open it using the Adobe Dreamweaver. So every PHP code must be written within the PHP tag, that is the PHP tag is written as open angle brace $PHP and must end with close angle brace. Session start. This is a unique session ID is created for each user, and since the header is used in all the pages, it is session start function is included in the header. Error reporting 0. This function is used to disable all the warnings. In case when you create any variable and if you do not define any value, there is a chance that the system will throw the warning. So to disable these warnings, error reporting is used. Time zone set. This function is used to set the time zone. Since we are in Asia and in India, we are using the Asian Kolkata time zone. Date. This is used to set the format of the date, that is we need the date to be displayed in the format YMD, which means year, month and day. Include connection.php. This is included to connect the database to the project. The MySQL database is used here along with the PHP. To connect this MySQL database, and the name of the database is eHostel. To connect this eHostel database to the project, we are using the PHP code connection.php. We will know about it later. And this code is included in header. Since header is included in all the files, there is no need of including connection.php in all the files since it is included in header. We will be using HTML5 in the code. To use the HTML5, we are using the HTML tag, and in the header, in the title tag, you can see online hostel management system. So this is the title of the project and this displays in the title tag. So you can see the title of the project, online hostel management. So this title is displayed since it is written in the head in the title tag. Now we will see in the body section. So in the body section you can see include top menu.php. This is one more file which is included. We will know about it later. Now we will see the logo. So how the logo is added, using the ID equal to logo and the image tag is used, where a folder images is used, that is a path of the logo image where it is stored. Images, in the folder images you can see the logo.png file, which is the image which is used as the logo, and img is the tag name, source src which means source, that is the name of the path must be mentioned here, and you can also set the height and width of the image under style. So this is how we will set the logo. You can also change the image. Next, menu. Followed by the logo you can see different menus, and for the menu UL tag is used, and you can see home, about, hosteler, guest, employee. So these are the different menus which is available. And if you see, if not is set session, hosteler ID, guest ID, employee ID, that is if none of the users have logged in, then these are the menus which are available for the viewers. So hosteler, followed by hosteler there is login and register, and then followed by the guest, you can see login and register again for the guest, and employee. There is also gallery and events, contact us. So these are the different menus which are available for the viewers when none of the users have logged into the portal. So you can see the contact us which has the anchor tag or a link, that is contact.php. The events has display events.php. So these are the different files. On clicking on different menus, you will be redirected to different files. So employee will be redirected to emp login.php to login as employee. Then under guest there is two options, either the guest must log in or they must register. Same as the hostler either they must log in using the hostler login or they must register using hostler.php. And home will redirect to index.php, which is the main page, and about us will redirect to about.php. So all these things are written inside the header tag. So we can see base name server php self index.php, that is it is a main page index.php, and it is at index.php is attached to header, footer, and all the other files are attached to index.php. Then you have the top menu.php. Let us see what is present in this. So top menu.php is again a PHP file. This includes the menus for the different users. So if the session ID is hostler ID, then these are the menus available, that is main, profile, change profile, book hostel, mess bill, apply for leave, view application, post feedback, view feedback, report. Under report there is attendance report, hostel fees report, and logout. So these are the menus available for the hosteler. If the person who has logged in is an employee, then the dashboard is available, profile and change password, and again if the employee type is admin, then adding the new employees and viewing the employees. These are the menus available. And other than that, hosteler, which includes the viewing, hostlers, guests, admissions, feedback, these are available for all the employees. Then guest booking is available for all the employees, that is viewing the pending bookings, approved bookings, rejecting the bookings, paid guest, viewing the guest records, and even the attendance is available for all the employees. Again, room setting, the room setting menu is available only for the admin again, which includes adding the room, viewing the room, adding the blocks, fee structure. So these are the things available for the admin. Apart from that, gallery and events is available for all the employees, as well as the mess bill is available for all the employees. Then at last there is logout, and there is one more user, that is the guest. If the person who has logged in is a guest, then the main, that is guest account is available, then profile and changing the profile, and hotel booking report. So the guest will book the hotel, and these are the menus available for all the users. So this is in header. So we saw header. Now let us see the footer. So how much header is important, so much footer is also important in the web page. So you can see the footer, which includes the copyright details as well as some links. So let us open footer.php file. So it is a very small file which includes some links, that is home, about us, and contact, which will have a anchor tag with reference as the path or the file names. So you can see for the home there is href, which is equal to index.php. Then there is copyright, that is where it is written online hostel management system. You can also write the name of the developer. And these are the links, home, about us, and contact. These are the links on clicking on which you will be redirected to those respective pages. So this is about the footer. Now let us see different login pages. So you can see this is a form now, which has only 2 fields and 1 button. In the hostler there is register form. So there are many fields in this form. There are different text boxes. There is a select box, there is a date box, there is text area, and contact us. So you can see the contact us form, where you have to mention your name and the email ID, mobile number, and the message, that is whatever the message you would like to convey to the web page that you can write in the contact us form. So let us see how the form works. So let us open contact.php file and let's see. You can see the header.php is included in this file also, and you can see in the home index.html or index.php is connected. Index.html is included, and you can see in the h3 tag contact us is written, and then there is a form. So form, there is some action, then method post. So this is a simple form where you don't have any action. There is a label in which you will be writing the name or any field names, and there is a input type where the type is text. The input text box is used. Next, for the mobile also again a text box is used. And you can see there is placeholder, name. So these are the different fields of the form. So you can see email. For the email, the type email is used, and for the message, text area is used. So these are the different text fields of the form. And there is a button where the type of the button is submit, and some text is written, that is send is written in the button. So this is how the form works. So this is how we will write the data in the form. And you can see there is some method, and apart from that you can see the address, contact details of the web page, and at last you can see the footer, that is footer is included. So the header and footer is included in all the pages. Now let us see the employee form. So it is a login form. Again, hostler also has a login form, and the guest also has the hostel form. So these are the three users of the system: hostler, guest and employee. So all the three users must log in before they use the web page. So now let us see how this login page works. So you can see in the PHP tag header is included, that is header.php file is included. And you can see if the session, that is session ID is valid, then a location is redirected to guest account.php. That is, if the person has logged in, then they are redirected to guest account.php. That is, since we are in the guest login page. Now let us see the form. So the form has got you can see the section in which in the h3 tag guest login portal. So this text is written in the h3 tag, and then the form is present where the form will start with the tag form with the method post, and the name of the form is from form, and there is one in the submit there is one function, that is validate form. So you can see the label email ID, then you can see one span tag. So this is used for validation, that we will see later. The input field is there, which is of the type text, and name is login ID. Then for the password, again there is a span tag with an ID, as well as input tag with the type password, and the name is password. So this form has got only two text fields and a button. So this button is of the type submit, and there is written click here to submit. And when you click on submit, since it is a submit button, on submit is activated, and the return validate form, the control is redirected to this form. And you can see this in this form there is a validation, that is login should not be empty, password should not be empty. So these are the two validations present, that is if you click the form empty form, then these are the validations which is given, so that the user must not enter any false data or cannot enter or cannot submit on a empty text box or empty form. So once the form is valid, then a post button, since the method is post method is invoked, and the select clause is used here to check whether the value what is there in the field, that is what is there in the text field, is present in the database. That is the login ID from the form, that is what is there in post, it is the login ID from the form, and email ID is the name of the field in the database guest table. So if the value matches, then the query is executed using MySQLi query, and where con is the variable which is used to connect the database, SQL is the variable which will include the select query, and if it matches with the database, then the query is executed, and MSQLi number of rows, if there is only one row with that particular data, then that particular data is fetched and it is given to RS. And here the session ID created and the guest ID which is there in the database must be same, so that the value from the RS is given to the session ID, and the type of the session ID is also given, that is type of the guest is also given. So you can see we are entering a invalid data, so it gives invalid login credentials. When you enter a valid data, you can log into the portal. So this is how the login form works. So you saw. Now let us see how the connection of the database is done, how the database is connected to the project. So connection.php is the file. This includes you can see error reporting is present here. Then you can see the name of the database is eHostel. So MySQLi connect is the function which is used to connect the database. So localhost and root is the servers. Localhost server we use, root is the username, and we don't use any password, so the password field is empty. eHostel is the name of the database. So using this variable we are connecting the database. Since we cannot use that code in all the places, we will be using the variable con in all the places to connect to the database. So this is how the database is connected to the project. The users of the website are hostler, guest and the employee. All the three users must log in to use the portal, but the hostler and the guest, they must register before they log into the portal. So let us see how the registration works. So you saw the registration form. We will be knowing about the hostler registration. So it is same as the coding will be same for the hostler as well as guest. So you can see the hostler.php file where header is included in the PHP tag. Now let us see the form first. So in the history tag, hostler registration panel is written, followed by there is a form. The form with the action and method post, and the name of the form is from form, and there is on submit there is a validate function. Let us see the different fields of the form. So the label is there. In the label you can see hostler type. Then there is a select tag with name hostler type, and the option values are select, followed by there are three other values, employee, student and others, upon which the user must select any of the options, and it is in the form of array. Later you can see RSEdit hostler type. So hostler type is the field from the database, and RSEdit, this is used at the time of editor update. So this is not used for the insertion purpose. This code is used for the time of update or edit, that we will see later. Next label is name, and you can see the span ID here with the span tag. ID is ID name, and there is an input field with the type text, and name is name. And again here also you can see in the value you can see inside the PHP tag echo rs edit name. So name is the value from the table, it is a field in the table, and whatever data is present in that particular table in the database, that will be displayed at the time when you click on edit. So for that reason, that PHP in the PHP tag echo rs edit is present. It is not for the registration purpose. Next, there is email ID in the label, and input type is email, name is email ID. Then you can see the date of birth in the label, and there is a span tag, span ID is there, and the type is date here. Remember, the email ID type is email, and date of birth the type is date. And next, for the password, you can see the input field with the type password, and for the confirm password also the type is password. Then the father name and mother name, it has got the type text. Address has got a text area. So each text field will have a unique name as well as a value is present, and followed by there is a button which is a submit button. So how the select tag works, on clicking the different options are available. Then in the email ID, the type is email, that is because it should follow the email ID format. Then date, you can see since the type is date, a date box is available. In the password, the type is password, so whatever data is entered, it will be in the form of star or asterisk, that is because to keep the security purposes. Then father name and mother name, it is a common text box. Then address is a text area since a big text box is available. So when you click on the submit button, it is invoke the function validate form. So when you click on a text box, validate form function is invoked, and you can see this function where there are different validations for different fields. So you can see if you click on the empty form, now you can see the form is empty, there is no data. If you click on the empty form, you can see there are different validations available. So it will not allow you to proceed, or it will not allow you to make the registration of the empty form. So for this purpose, validation form function is used. So it will have different warnings are present here. So we will know about it clearly in the next video. Now let us see how we can register. So there is method post. Once the validation is proper, it is valid, then the system is redirected to method post with the submit. So there is method edit also, that is method get with the edit ID. So this is not invoked since the method is post, method post is invoked, and inside the method post you can see again there is a edit ID, and this is for update. We are not doing updation, we are inserting, that is we are making the registration, which means we are entering the new data to the database. So when you enter the new data, insert query is used, insertion is done, adding the new data is done. So we need to use the insert query. Since we don't have the edit ID, insert query will be executed. So you have the table hostler. So there is an insert query, insert into hostler, followed by the different fields of the table hostler. So all the fields what are there in the table hostler must be mentioned. So let us see. So these are the different fields. There are 11 fields in the table hostler, and all the 11 fields must be entered in the insert tag inside the bracket. So insert into hostler, that is the name of the table, followed by all the fields. Then close the bracket and write values and open the bracket again, and inside post you are writing whatever the value will be written, that is the name of the different fields in the form. So hostler type is the name of the field, name is the name of the field. So you can see in the select, the name of the select tag is hostler type. Then and next followed by post name. So the second field is name, which has the input type text and the name is name. So followed by all the fields, whatever is written, every field must be mentioned respectively according, it should be mentioned accordingly how the fields in the table is present, that is hostler name, email id, password. In the same format the name of the data field also, form also must be mentioned. So then on clicking on the submit button, you can see status. So in the form there is no status field, but the database has got status. In the database, in the table, there is one more field called status. So for that purpose, at the last we are manually writing the value for that particular data status, that is we are writing it as active. Then if the query is correct, then it is connected to the database, and the database will check for the table name and the fields. If it finds the same table name and fields present in the query, then the query is fetched, and if the row is unique, then the hostler registration is done successfully and the control is redirected to hostlerlogin.php. That is because once you register successfully, the hostler has to log in. Because of that reason, they are redirected to hostlerlogin.php. Otherwise, error message will be shown. So let us see how it works. Let us fill the form. So let us select as student. Let us type the name of the student and the email ID, date of birth, password, confirm password, father name and mother name must be written, then the address and the mobile number must be written. So when you must fill all the fields of the form, only then you can do the registration. So click here to register. This is not working because email ID is not valid, because email ID must follow the format. Now click here to register and the registration is done successfully, and you can see that you are redirected to hostlerlogin.php, which is the login page. So the user is redirected to hostlerlogin.php, which is the login page. It is after the registration they must log into the portal. So this is same for the guest registration also. Let us log in as the employee. So we have seen how the login form works, that is the data from the form is matched with the data in the database, and if the data is present, then the person will be logged in to the account. And now you can see the admin has logged in and add new employee option is present. So again here there is a form, which means all the forms are present because to enter some data to it, and whatever data is entered to the form, that will be added to the database, which means insert query works here. So now let us see exactly how the insert query works. So we will be using employee.php file, and you can see in the file header.php is added or included. First let us see the form. So in the form there is action with method post, and name of the form is again form, and there is a validate form function for the submit. Then you can see the employee name, and you know how the text fields are written. We have seen more than 2 forms now. So the input type is mentioned as text, then the name of the input box is necessary and the value is necessary. So these are the things, that is class, that is form control, type will be text, password, whatever, and you can also include the placeholder. Then for the select tag there is name as well as class, as well as there is one more tag option, and followed by the array will be used. And here you can see, since it is an employee type, there are 3 types of employees: admin, warden and accountant. So this I said already, RS edit, it is used for edit purpose, that we will be knowing later. Next there is gender. Again for the gender, male and female, 2 options. So again the select box is used. So select box will start with select and it will close with the /select tag. Then designation, here the input type text is used. The status, here you can see the status is used. There are 2 options for status, active and inactive. You can choose any one of them. So on clicking on the submit, again validate form option is invoked, and this is the function, and in this function will not allow you to enter or insert the empty form to the database. So you have to type something in the form, only then you can enter that data to the database. Again, that something cannot be any invalid data, it should be a valid data. For that purpose validate form function is used. So once all the data is entered to the form, then the method post is invoked, and the system will search for the method post. Once it finds the method post, it will see what is the value present, that is submit, and inside the method post there is get id, that is edit id. Since we are not doing any updation, we need to insert the value. We are working on the insert query. Since the edit id is not working, and we will see the insert query. So you can see the table employee, and it includes, these are the fields: employee id, employee name, login id, password, employee type, gender and designation, and status. So these are the fields. So you can see insert into employee, which is the table name, and followed by all the fields, values. This is how the insert query must be written. After values, in the round bracket, write inside the post name of all the fields. So remember, you have to write the name of the fields in the order in which the field names of the table is present. If the field name is employee name, login ID, password, then it should be the name of the form also should be written in the same way. Name of the text fields should be written in the same way. Employee name, login ID, password. So this should be the format which should be followed. So whatever is written in the form, written inside the post, that they are the names of the text fields of the form. So once the query is correct, it is checked with the MySQL query function, and this function will connect the database and the query, and it will check whether that particular data is present in the database or whether the data is valid. Then if it is valid, then MySQLi affected rows of the database is fetched. If the row is unique, then the insertion will be done successfully, and after the insertion you are redirected to the same page, employee.php. So you can see you are redirected to the same page employee.php once the insertion is done successfully. So this is how insert query will work. So let us add some data and we'll see. So we are adding the employee name, login ID, password, then the employee type, gender, designation, and the status must be selected as active, and clicking on submit you can see the employee record is inserted successfully and you are redirected to employee.php file. That is to the same page you are redirected because you can also insert many other employees for that purpose. Now let us see view employee.php, and I said about RS edit, so let us see how it works. So let us click on the edit option and you can see now in the form is not empty. The form has data which is in the database. So this is what the RS edit will do, and you can see edit ID is equal to 23. So let us see how this works. So each field of the form has got the value echo RS edit followed by the name of the field which is in the database. So you can see is set get edit ID. So how this works is edit ID. So there is a unique edit ID, and when this edit ID is given, that is, or whether it is when it is fetched, there is a query return select star from table name where employee ID is equal to get edit ID. So employee ID and the get edit ID must be same. In that case, whatever data is present in that particular employee ID, that data will be displayed in this particular form. So for that, to fetch this, select query is used here. So you can see edit ID 23, and we are using here select star from employee where employee ID is equal to 23. So for that particular data where there is employee ID is 23, that particular data will be fetched from the database using the MySQLi query function, and again the data is fetched and it is given to RS edit. So MySQLi fetch arrays function is used so that all the data is fetched, and in the RS edit we will be using different field names, and for each field name whatever data is present in that field name, that is provided and that is displayed in the form. So this is the working of RS edit. It will fetch the data from the database and it will display in the form, so that form doesn't display empty. So the data displaying in the form is done in this way using the edit ID and the RS edit variable name. So you can see all the fields has got the RS edit, that is RS edit password, type, name, employee type. So all the data is fetched from the database using this variable, since it is used. So you can see gender has got in the employee ID 23. You can see these are the data present and this data is displayed in the form when you click on the edit. That is because when you click on edit, the edit ID is generated and the edit ID and the employee ID same. Since for that reason the value is fetched and you can view the data from the database in the form. Now if you want to update, if you want to make any change, so this will display you the data Now if I want to make any changes to the data which is present or which is in the database, I want to update the name, I have typed the name wrongly or I have typed the designation wrongly, then I want to make the changes, then here you can make the changes and this will work under the update query. So update query works when you want to make any editing or when you want to modify the data which is there in the database, then the update query is used. So the format for the update query is update table name set value, set then the value, that is employee name, which is equal to post employee name, that is here for each value of the each field of the database or each field of the table must be equal to the each field of the form, which means here, and at last there is a where clause where employee ID should be equal to the edit ID. So you can see update employee set EMP name is equal to EMP name from the post, that is from the form. Again login ID which is a field in the table employee, and post login ID is the name of the text field in the form. So each field of the table must be equal to the each form name. Only then the data processing is same, and when you click on submit, the record will be updated and you can now see you are redirected to view employee.php file again after the updation. So this will be done same as how the insert works. The that is connection and the SQL is checked whether it is the data present in the database. If the value is present in the database, then it is changed. So now you can see the database where the value is changed to Nisha Tanya. And you can also see in the form in view employee where the name of the employee is changed. You can also make the editing or the modification further also. So each time when you make the modification, it will be updated in the database as well as in the project. So this is how the update query works for all the pages. So we saw about the insertion as well as updating the records. Now let us see how the deletion works. So you can see in the view employees.php here, there is an action edit and delete, on which edit we have already seen, and clicking on the delete button there is a warning message, and then on clicking on OK the record will be deleted. Now let us see how this works, how the data will be deleted when you click on the delete button. So for that, let us see view employee.php. In this file, not only in this file, wherever you have the action delete, the same code works. So we will be knowing this view employee.php, but you can see there are different view pages. So for all the view pages, wherever there is edit and delete, the update and delete query works same. Now let us see view employee.php, where here you can see the action. Under the action you have edit and delete two buttons. So about these code we will know later. Now let us see the delete. So how does delete work? So you can see there is an anchor tag or link with href. There is no link to any file or any PHP file. There is on click, there is a function that is confirm to delete function rs0, which means whenever you click on the delete button, this function is invoked, that is confirm to delete function is invoked. And you can see this has got a argument delete id, and you can see will delete, if will delete window.location delete id. So window.location means you are redirected to delete id, else you have your delete request terminated. And you have a warning message with the title, are you sure? Then the text, once deleted you will not able to recover this record. And this is icon, which means it is a warning. So which you saw already, that is when you click on delete, you have a warning box with are you sure title, and once deleted you cannot recover this. Then if you click on cancel, you have your request is terminated. So if you click on cancel, then your delete request terminated message will be shown, otherwise your record will be deleted. Now we will see how your record is deleted. So you saw about your delete request terminated. Now we will see what is window.location is equal to delete id plus delete id. So what is this, we will be knowing now. For that, let us go to the start, and you have get function with that delete id. So there is a query which is a delete query, that is if you click on this and if you click on OK, a delete id is generated. And you can see here delete from employee, where employee id is equal to get delete id. So you are giving this delete id which is generated to the employee id, which means if there is any record with this particular employee id same as the delete id which is generated, then that particular record will be deleted. So you can see here there are different employee records and with different employee IDs. And whenever you click on any record, that particular employee ID will be the delete ID. And the query, what does the query says? If the employee table has got any record with the delete ID and the employee ID is same, then that particular record is fetched. And if the query is correct, then it is connected to the database using the con and SQL. And if it is correct, then MySQL I query is executed and MySQL I affected rows, that is if there is only one unique row, then that particular record will be deleted. Once it is deleted, you are redirected to view employee.php file again. And you can see now, let us delete one record. The name is Kamini, and you can see the record is deleted. And you can see there is one more record with the same name. So let us delete this also to avoid confusion. So now you can see the record is deleted. And now let us see the database, whether the database is updated. So let us refresh the database. And now you can see that particular record is deleted from the database. So you don't have to delete it directly from the database. Using the query and using this delete button, the data will be deleted permanently. So not only for this page, wherever there is a button delete, so the same code works. The coding is same for all the delete buttons. Next you can see the view hosteler. So here you can see the data is displayed in the form of table. So wherever there is a view page, that is view guest, here also the data is displayed in the form of table. And in the action you can see edit and delete, and you know how the edit and delete will work now. But we don't know how this table is drawn. So you can see view admissions. Again here the data is in the table format. So income report. So again the income report in the form of table. View pending bookings. So again the pending bookings are shown in the form of table, where one table contains the details, particular status, and at last there is action. So again this field also has got, that is approved bookings also has got table. So most of the fields or most of the panels which has got the view are in the form of table. So you can see view attendance, again this is in the form of table. View leave report, this is a table with the header as well as the values. Now room settings, where view room, again you are viewing the room in the form of table. So all the view files, everything has got a table. And this is how in the table you are fetching all the values from the database. So how you can fetch the value from the database and how it is stored in the form of a table, that we will be knowing now. And about the action edit and delete, we have already seen how it works, but how we will be writing that we will be knowing now. So let us see this itself, view photo. So view photo.php, where you have gallery type, title, image, status and action. So these are the fields. So let us open view photo.php file. So you can see the different view pages here, and all the view pages, so all the data wherever it is displayed from the database, it is in the form of table. So we will see how it is coded, and it is same for all. Let us see one file and all the other files works the same. So let us see view photo.php. So you can see here the header file is included, and now you can see here the table tag. So in the insert or wherever we saw form, there we did not see any table tag. So table tag is present only when you are displaying the data. That is, when you are displaying the data from the database in the pages, in the web page, there you are displaying the data in the form of table. So we will see how this table works. So the table tag is used, and you can see the table header which is displayed in bold. So gallery type, title, image and status. So these are written under the T head tag inside TR as TH tag. That is TR, which means table row. In the table row as TH, which means table header. So whatever is written in TH, it will be displayed as bold. Next, close the table header. Then open the table body. In the table body, you can see the SQL code or SQL query, that is select query. Select star from photo, left join gallery type on photo.gallery type id is equal to gallery type dot gallery type id. So now we will see the table where photo, since we are viewing the photo, we will see the table photo, and you can see in the table photo id, that is the primary key, then gallery type id, this is the foreign key and it is the primary key of the table gallery type. Then you have photo title, photo image and photo status. These are the fields of the photo table itself, but gallery type id is from the table gallery type. But you can see the gallery type value is fetched here, and how this is done. How this value is fetched, because it is not present in the photo table, it is present in the gallery type table. And then photo title, photo image and photo status, these are present in the photo table itself, but only the gallery type is not present in the photo table. But since we are using the gallery type id as the primary key here, we can fetch the data from the gallery type. So in the gallery type table, if you see, you have gallery type id, gallery type description and gallery type status. So these are the fields here, and among this gallery type is displayed in the view photo. So here, after displaying the gallery type, then the title and the photo image is displayed. So this query, how it works is select star. Star means select all the record from the database and from the table photo. Then left join, you are using gallery type. So gallery type from the table gallery type, and you are using the foreign key here, that is gallery id, and which is in both gallery type table as well as in the photo table. So this is how gallery type, the value from the gallery type field is fetched in the photo table. So that value is displayed, and again MySQL query function is used to check the query whether it is correct. If the query is correct and the data is present, then the MySQL query will execute, and here the value is given to RS by fetching using the MySQL fetch array function. And here you can see we have used while loop. That is because we are not displaying one data. We will be displaying all the data which is there in that particular table. So for that reason, while loop is used. Using the while loop and using the array, all the data is fetched. So how many data is there? So many rows are created and all the data will be fetched. So RS gallery type, RS photo title, image. So RS gallery type and photo title, these are the field from the table. Then photo image is the field. But you can see the photo, only the name of the photo is stored in the database. The path is not stored. So you can see in the photo table, only the name of the image is stored, not the image or the path is stored. Because of this reason, the image is stored in a different folder in the project. So image gallery is the folder, and in this folder the photos are stored, and the name will be same. The name of the image is same, and that particular using that image name from this folder we are fetching the photo. So RS photo image, the image name what is there in the database, that image is searched in the folder name and that image is displayed. Next is status, which is already present in the database, that value will be displayed. So next is the action. So in the action, now you can see there are two buttons. One is edit and the delete. So for the edit button, anchor tag is used and photo.php file is redirected. That is, when you click on the edit button, you are redirected to photo.php file where you will be inserting the data, where you will be doing the insertion. And you can see here, since we are clicked on edit, all the data is displayed here, and you can make the updation. And next is delete button. So delete button also we saw how it works. So it will invoke the confirm to delete function, and using that it will delete the data. So for delete you have on click. On click means when you click, this function should be called. The meaning of on click is when you click on that particular button, confirm to delete function should be invoked. So that is how the delete will work. So it will invoke the confirm to delete button. Then we saw we will get the warning message, are you sure? Then once deleted you will not be able to recover this record. That warning will be sent, and if you click on OK, then the data will be deleted from the database. If not, your request will be terminated. So this is how the select query works. So it is same for all the pages. The way the query is written might be different, but the system how it works is same. So this is about the select clause. So we saw about insertion, we saw the registration, we saw update query, delete and select. Now let us see the validation function in detail. So when you register or when you log in or when you insert or when you make the updation, in all the places validation function is present. So now let us see how this validation works. So when you click on the empty form, you will get some validations, whether it is only for the empty form or when you insert the wrong data, in that case also you will get some warning messages. So now we will see for the hostel itself, because we have already seen the form how it works. So we don't have to know more about the form, we will only know about the validation. So how does the validation function will work for the registration form? So now you can see the header is included. So we saw about this file already, about all the other functions. So form, there is a form, and in the form on submit you have a validate form function. Next in the label you can see different fields, and for each field there is a span tag with the ID. So this is used for the validation. So this ID is used, and for this ID warning message will be sent. Using this ID, the warning message will be sent. So span tag is used for the validation. So in each field, in the email, in the date of birth, in the password, in confirm password, father name, mother name, address. So in each field there is a span ID. So you can see the validate form function, and when you click on submit, this function will be called. And now you can see inside this function there are different variables, numeric expression. So this expression is used, and you can see 0 to 9, which means only the numbers can be added, and alpha expression, which means only the alphabets can be added, and alpha space expression, which means the alphabets can be added, along with that space also can be given. Next, alpha numeric expression, which means alphabets can be added as well as the numbers also can be added. Then email expression, which means it is a format in which way email must be followed. So what is the format for the email? That is shown here. So this is how the email. So it can have it should have at, then it should have 0 to 9 and A to Z. So these are the, in different way the format is shown. That is the email expression. So next is mobile number expression. So in the mobile number also there is some format to be followed for the mobile number, and that format is displayed here. If that format is not followed, then the error message will be shown, or the warning message will be shown, and the form doesn't proceed. So next, now we will see if document dot from form. So from form is the name of the form, Hostler type is the name of the field. So you can see here, name of the form is from form, and name of the field Hostler type. So in the select, you can see the field name Hostler type. So that is the name of the field. Then value equal to in double quote, which means null, which means empty. If the value is empty, then get element by ID, ID Hostler type. So this is the span ID which is used, the ID which is used in the span tag. So using this ID, in that place, wherever that ID is written, in that place this message is displayed, that is kindly select Hostler type. So this message is displayed in that particular place. Next, you can see if not document. So if not document dot from form, name dot value match alpha space expression, which means if the value of the form of the field name, if that value doesn't match the alpha space expression, then you have to throw the error, that is name, the entered name is not valid. So the name should be in the format either A to Z, and it can include space, but it cannot include any digits and all. So in such cases it will give the error message, that is entered name is not valid. Next, if that name is empty, then name should not be empty, message will be thrown. Next is for email ID. So if the email ID is not matching with the email expression, then entered email ID is not valid. Then if the email ID is empty, then email ID should not be empty. Then for the date of birth also, date of birth should not be empty. Then for the password, you can see if the length is less than 6. So password must have more than 6 characters. And if the password and the confirm password is not matching, so if password and confirm password does not match, then confirm password and confirm password not matching, that message is shown. Then if the father name is alpha space expression, if it is not alpha space expression, again same as name, same error will be thrown. Then for the address also, address cannot be empty. Then for the contact number, if it is not following the numeric expression, if the contact number has other than numbers, then again the error is shown, that is the contact number should contain only digits. Then mobile number expression, the contact number must follow mobile number expression also, and if not, the invalid warning is shown. Then the contact number must not be equal to 10 digits. sorry, if it is not equal to 10 digits, then it says the contact number must contain 10 digits. So these are the different validation messages. So let us see how it works. Now see, if you click on the login form, empty form, it will show you the field should not be empty. If you click on the empty form for the registration, for each field it will give you the error message. So we have seen what happens when you click on the empty form. Now let us add some wrong values and see how it happens. So let us select the hostler type and let us write the name. So let us give some digits in the name and let us give the wrong email format and let us select the date of birth. So password, it's given password should be 6 characters. I'll give only 4 characters, and password and confirm password must match. I'll enter some wrong data there. Then the father name, let's give some digit, then mother name, and let's write the address, and mobile number should be 10 digits. I'll give less than 10 digits. So now let's click here to register. So the form is not forwarding, it is not accepting the data. So let us make some changes. Let us remove the name and let us make the email format correct. Now let us see what happens. So now you can see the password must contain 6 characters, confirm password and password is not matching, then father name is not valid, contact number should contain 10 digits. So these are the different validations shown. So if you enter wrong data, the form will not let you proceed, or it will not do the registration, or it will not do any proceedings until you enter the proper data. So until the correct data is entered, until then you cannot proceed. You can't do any further proceedings. So not only for the registration form, for the validation form, as well as for any form where you do any of the insertion, for all the form there is validation and you cannot enter the wrong values. So now all the values we have entered properly. Now let us click to register. So you can see the name is not valid because I have given digit in the name. So now let us, so I've given the email as wrong. So again it's not proceeding because the email is wrong. So let us make it proper. So you can see the registration is done successfully and you are redirected to hostlerlogin.php. So this is how the validation works, and validation is very important for all the forms. So each field must have the validation, and once the validation is correct, only then the insertion will work and the insert query will proceed. Again, if the insert query is wrong, again it will show you the error. So this is same for all the forms. Validation will be same for all the forms. So thank you for watching the video. For further queries, kindly visit our website. Thank you.